What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your girl, Jessie Thrill, coming to you right now with another banger. Okay? Alright, look. We got the top 10 scary things left by demons. Ooh, that it sounded crazy. When the first time I read it, I was like, what in the world am I about to get myself into today? Like, seriously. Now, the link in the description for this video will be down the link to the video will be down in the description box if you want to subscribe or go and watch more videos by this YouTube channel, because they be throwing them left and right, and these videos that they put on there just be crazy. Okay, so again, I say this is top 10 things left by demons. I don't know how they left them, but they left them. Okay, excuse me. All right, here we go. Let's get into it.
At number 10, we have the Codex Gigas. Said to be one of the most demonic items on the planet, the Codex Gigas is also called the Devil's Bible. It's unknown where the book came from and what it contains. There are sections of the book that are written in an unknown language, and there are entire pages depicting demonic figures that could be the devil. The legend behind this book is that there was a monk who was sentenced to death by his own monastery. He decided to make a bargain with them. He offered to write them a book. This was going to be a glorious work that would encapsulate the entire history of the monastery. Every last detail in one novel. The monastery agreed, but only if he could complete the book in a single night. They didn't even give this guy 24 hours. That's pretty harsh. While working tirelessly on this piece, the monk broke. He knew that the task was impossible, so he requested outside help. Spiritual help, not from his Lord and Savior, but from the Prince of Darkness. He prayed to the devil who appeared before him and aided him to finish this scripture. It said that anyone who tries to decode this book will be cursed and probably die. At number 9, we have the Dybbuk box. Now, the box itself wasn't really left behind by a demon. If you are unfamiliar with this creation, it's an artifact from Judaism. There are several iterations of the story, but I'm going to give you my favorite one. A Holocaust prisoner used dark magic to summon a demon to try and get rid of the Nazi plague. After the Nazis were defeated, they just had a demon hanging around who was making everyone have a bad time. So this man built a Dybbuk box to seal the demon away. After he passed away, the box got passed from person to person. Each person who owned the box reported having terrible dreams. One person even developed an unknown disease that no one has ever seen before. Eventually, the box was given to a rabbi who sealed the dark energy back into the box and put it away forever. So I would say it's the haunted box, like the demonic presence itself, that was left behind by the demon. At number 8, we have forks. Wait, what? You mean that thing that all of Western culture uses several times a day to enjoy all the tasty morsels of life and make sure that your hands don't get dirty? Yeah, those. Forks used to be seen as a tool of the devil. People made the obvious comparison between the devil's pitchfork and table forks, but it was really because food was seen as a holy gift. I mean, that makes sense. Think about how long people have been sacrificing people to gods to increase the amount of wheat they get in a year. That happened for a long time. So if you would not touch the food, it meant that you were fearful of this holy gift. There was actually a princess in the 17th century who would eat with a fork, and she died of a sickness, and everyone said that was God's will because she was the devil. At number 7, we have schizophrenia.
Wait. Okay, I'm confused. We use forks on a daily. Like, why would that be? I don't get it. I don't get it. For real, I don't. Alright, let's keep going.
I am in the camp of science on this one. I don't believe that schizophrenia can be caused by a demon, but some people think this to be the case. Throughout history, there have been reports of demonic possession or demonic presence in a person that will cause them to start hearing voices, hallucinate, or even take on a new personality. These are all very similar traits to schizophrenia. Long before we could diagnose such things, people would try to pray away things like pneumonia. Most mental illnesses were seen to be a demon living inside your body. So let's get skeptical for a moment, because you guys come here for the weird stuff. What if mental disease are what demons leave behind you after you have an encounter with them, corrupting your soul, taking over your mind? Again, I am sticking working in the camp of science, but maybe mental illness is something caused by demons. At number 6, we have demonic cults. When a crazy satanic cult gets formed, is this just people going crazy and finding an excuse to be crazy? Or is this the bidding of a dark force, pushing people into a certain direction to increase their influence? Some people think that Charles Manson was influenced by a demon or the devil himself. For instance, how was he able to have such a strong influence over these people, to make them follow him without question? He had people murdered at will just by telling people what to do. There's a myth that during his trial he wasn't allowed to speak because prosecutors were worried that he had some inhuman ability to influence people. Perhaps Manson was the puppet of an outside force.
Signs you need meditation in your life. Sign 1. Your
At number
Hold on. Let me stop right there. Okay. First of all, and I believe I've said this before in one of my videos, when you are searching for an evil presence to dwell in, or to dwell in you, so that you can do certain things for the devil or and whatnot, I honestly believe that it's real, because certain things that have transpired throughout my life, I've seen people who didn't seem themselves. And when I say didn't seem themselves, they looked like they were seriously possessed by something, because their eyes went black. Okay, they were not normal eyes like how yours and mine's are right now. Okay, mine's nice brown, you know, with a white around it, like how it's supposed to look. But this person, I done seen it a few times, not just once, but a few different times, where their eyes went completely black. Now, I don't know if there is a quote-unquote science explanation behind all of it. Okay, I call bull crap on that. But with this guy, and I'm quite familiar with who he is, I honestly believe that he was probably possessed or being led by the devil to control the people. And like I said, if you look for evil spirits, you will find evil spirits. And the people that were following him, they made a choice, okay, to follow him. It's not like he made them follow him. Let's get this correct, because I'm not following you, my nigga. Excuse me. But dude, I'm not following you. So you can stand in front of me all you want to and say follow the devil. It's not gonna happen. Okay? So it's not gonna work on me. Okay? Either way it goes, like I said, people who want to follow the devil will follow the devil. You, as a human being, have been given a choice whether you want to follow the devil or whether you want to follow the Most High. Period. You had that choice. So, following him, you're not following him, you're following the evil spirit that resides in him. Period. You're not actually following him, because he's still a bodily figure, a human being on earth. If that makes any sense to y'all. So, let's get back to this.
We have curses. I mean, this one is pretty basic, but I felt like it should be on the list. It seems like everywhere a demon goes, they leave behind some sort of curse or sickness or something. They aren't really in the game of helping people. A demon doesn't come into your home and make sure you pay all your bills on time and meal prep. No, they want to make your life worse. I think it's just in their nature to do that kind of stuff. We have covered some curses left behind by demons on this channel before, things that could make you go insane or make you get terribly sick, but my favorite is the curse of Spider-Man. It's a terrible omen that affects the Broadway play Spider-Man. People have sustained so many injuries rehearsing for this play that the production has been put on hold several times. One time, a rope holding an actor 3 stories up snapped and sent them falling into the orchestra pit. Even one of the producers died from a stroke before the play even opened. Some demon out there is like, this can't happen. Even though I'm a demon, a play about Spider-Man is too horrible to go on. At number 4, we have curse words. It only makes sense that we follow curses with curse words. Apparently, a lot of horrible things that we spew out of our mouths every day come from demons. Specifically, the demon Agarus. If someone summoned him, he would give them a great gift. He would offer you the knowledge of every language in the world. A very useful skill. You could work for the UN and find out if anyone was talking trash about you. But here's the catch. He's a demon. Of course there's a catch. He would only teach you all the curse words of each language. Not the best way to build friendships all over the globe. Something cool about this guy is he would appear in front of you as an old dude riding a crocodile. I would totally get tricked by this. Some old man on a croc rides up to you and he's like, hey, you want to swear in every language? I'd be like, yes, dude, what's your Instagram? At number 3, we have familiars. There won't always be a big bad devil who torments you. He might send one of his lackeys, and even they might send one of their lower tier creeps to torment you. Who am I, chopped liver over here? I can't get some top tier tormenting? Familiars can be creations or beasts that come from a more powerful demon and left behind to ruin your life. Some people will experience these things through nightmares, or they could be the creature that you see in the corner of your room while you have sleep paralysis. And number 2, we have fears. Ooh, boo, you're scared.
So that's what those things are called. He said something about sleep paralysis. Okay, I don't have that issue no more. Or anymore, excuse me. Let me get my grammar correct. But I used to. It's very interesting that he brings that up. Because any situation that I had ever been in where I knew that something was wrong with somebody, that I shouldn't have been in their presence, I would have this eerie feeling like I don't know what this person was into, what they were doing, who they were doing it towards, or anything of that nature. But they left an eerie feeling in this presence that I could not get out of my heart and my spirit. And I promise you that eerie feeling that I had, as soon as I laid down to close my eyes and go to sleep, I would be stiff. I wasn't fully asleep and I wasn't fully awake either. But I would lay there. I could not move for nothing. My eyes just seemed like they were wide open, and I could see myself laying in my own bed in my own room, and it was dark. And then I could see this figure, this evil looking creature standing on top of me. He wasn't even standing on me for real. He was kneeling over me. And I was looking at this thing like, I don't know what you are, what you're doing in here. I couldn't speak those words, but Lord knows I was thinking it. And I was like, thinking to myself, like, you have no right here. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro. And the first thing that I could think to even attempt to try and say out of my mouth is I kept repeating the name. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. and my lips, they kept trying to form his name. And the moment that my mouth actually opened and said his name, my body just let loose. Okay? My arms and everything, I could move. And then I went in like this, and I had tears coming down my eyes. Like, bro, I don't know what was going on, but this entity, this thing, whatever it was that was going on that day, I left that person alone, the other people alone when the situation had occurred, because I don't need that around me. Okay, it's not cool. Okay? Because I feel like people know. I mean, I think people know that they have something going on in their lives that would have that type of spirit, being, that entity following them, and they could leave it to potentially leave it behind in somebody else's presence, or it can multiply and follow them around and try, or could, it just depends, try to follow that person around. Okay? Now, that stuff, it tripped me out. For a little while, it was going on. I was having sleep paralysis problems, and that situation did occur a few different times. But when I noticed what was going on, and I noticed that it was happening, I said, the devil is a lie. Okay, y'all not allowed up in here. Okay, you guys just gotta, if you ain't been through it, you're good. If you've been through it before, trust me, it's not the best thing it's not the best feeling in the world. It's not. It's a horrible thing to experience. Creepy, crazy. It was for me. But I honestly don't believe that it had anything to do with me per se, because I noticed as when somebody was in my presence is when it happened. And when they left and I did what I did to get rid of that presence, it wasn't around any longer. I didn't have sleep paralysis anymore. So I was like, I don't think it has anything to do with me. So, anyway, to the next one.
From what I understand about possession is that strong-willed people are much harder to take control of. So how do you break someone's will? Well, you have to make them watch the same Disney movie over and over again. And that's why I think kids are secretly demons trying to ruin our lives. Of course, I'm just kidding. But why do kids like watching the same movie on repeat, like back to back? Like, dude, there's so many movies out there. A demon might leave some fears in your soul, slowly breaking you down. Think of it as planting a seed and letting it grow. They'll leave a kernel of something horrible inside your psyche, wait for you to have an emotional breakdown, and then take over your body. And for our number one spot, we have markings.
Bro, you gotta be kidding me right now. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back, you guys. What he just was talking about.
You see in the corner of your room while you have sleep paralysis. And number two, we have fears. Woo, boo, you're scared. From what I understand about possession is that strong-willed people are much harder to take control of. So how do you break someone's will? Well, you have to make them watch the same Disney movie over and over again. And that's why I think kids are secretly demons trying to ruin our lives. Of course, I'm just kidding. But why do kids like watching the same movie on repeat, like back to back? Like, dude, there's so many movies out there. A demon might leave some fears in your soul, slowly breaking you down. Think of it as planting a seed and letting it grow. They'll leave a kernel of something horrible inside your psyche, wait for you to have an emotional breakdown, and then take over your body. And for our number one spot,
No. 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 Let's just keep going because that's going to have me thinking about something.
Markings. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. If you actually encounter a demon, they might try to put their grubby little hands on you, and it never goes well. From working on this channel, I've probably read over 100 reports of different kinds of branding demons have left on people. It could be something as simple as scratches, just small ones, the kinds you wake up with when you're like, what, did that happen? I don't remember scratching myself. To full-on bite marks, bruises in the shape of humanoid teeth with very defined canines. The craziest one I read about was from Reddit user Ricora. She said while walking through a haunted house, she felt a burning sensation on her face. Someone turned on the light and everyone could see a bright red handprint on her face like she had just been slapped. If a demon walked up to me and slapped me, I would pour holy water over my hands and I would Sugar Ray this dude. You'd be screaming no mask by the time I'm done with you. At number 10, we have demonic language. We have seen this throughout time. The devil or demons will come through a person and force them to speak in a demonic language. Sometimes it sounds like a deep, guttural
Time is scout.
growl that will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It'll sound like the devil himself is wearing someone's skin and holding the person hostage. And sometimes it sounds super fake and it gets shared all over the internet as me.
Oh, hold on. Wait, he said it sounds like a what?
Through a person and force them to speak in a demonic language. Sometimes it sounds like a deep, guttural growl that will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It'll sound like the devil himself is wearing someone's skin and holding the person hostage. And sometimes it sounds super fake and it gets shared all over the internet as me.
I knew I was not stupid. I freaking knew that there was a reason why I stopped talking to this person. He said, sounds like growling and stuff like that, and it'll make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Bro, you guys know I'm not the type of person to say anything about anybody. Bro, growling and stuff like that in the back of your hair and on your neck and stuff like that, and you just have this feeling like something is just off. Come on, man. I knew it. Come on.
That happens too. But many religions believe that the devil will communicate to people through his own language. The most common speech people recognize is tongues. I'm sure you guys have seen videos of people flying around while they're getting exercise and their tongue starts flapping out of their mouth like Grandpa Joe licking a wall. People also used to think that the devil's language could have been hidden in rock and roll, and you could hear it if you played a vinyl in reverse. But it's safe to say that if you hear someone talking crazy in that tongue's language, you might want to avoid them. At number 9, we have condemned homes. From researching countless ghost stories and haunted homes from working here, I know a thing or two about how to get rid of a demon. And in most cases, people call a priest, they get them to come over and flow and do the whole like, ooh, holy work and blah, 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 God's love, and it pushes out the dark spirit, and then they can live in the home happily ever after, and the spirit is out of there faster than Ariana Grande dropped Pete Davidson. But there have been a few cases I've read about where there wasn't enough holy water in the world to take the darkness in their home and push it out. The people living there had to abandon all hope and move to a whole new place. Homes no one would dare to enter because it now belongs to a dark demon force. This usually caused by someone summoning the evil through a Ouija board or some sort of satanic ritual. In this case, people who left the home are so horrified that they have never gone back, so I don't have updates on whether or not the demon would move on, but you have to imagine a demon so strong that the Pope himself would have to come down to blast this dark spirit out, and that's a movie I would want to watch. Pope versus the demons? That'd be cool. At number 8, we have the Smurfs. Wait, what? You mean those little blue dudes that walk around singing songs that they the thing that was a kids show back in the 60s? Yeah, a group of Jehovah's Witnesses believed that the Smurfs were demonic and some sort of creation of the devil. There was a group of people writing on Reddit about how their Smurf toys would come to life while their kids were sleeping and attack them, which I would put money on being untrue, but people do have very strong imaginations, and who knows, it didn't happen to me. And this isn't something from the 60s when the Smurfs first came out and maybe people were afraid of the cartoon. Claims of the Smurfs being demonic stretch all the way to 2011. So in the modern era where people have cell phones and Google and there are real things to be afraid of like ISIS, people are still talking about the Smurfs being monsters. I think that's how you know you're privileged. Some people have tried to give this theory a backbone by claiming that the word Smurf means demon in German, but that's very untrue. Google translate it and you can find out in 2 seconds. I never...
And I want to do it too. You said German, right? German. And enter text Smurf.
Smurf. Smurf.
No, it does not.
Smurf. Smurf.
Okay. It's crazy because I think it's the same in every single language. I'm not seeing it any different popping up in any other language for real. If anything, that's the only thing that's weird to me.
Smurf.
Like I'm typing it in every single language, and it stays the same. It stays the same in every single language. That's the only thing weird. Let's try it in Chinese. It's
Smurf. Smurf.
it's still the same in every single language. Anyways, back to what we was talking about.
Seconds. And number 7, we have instruments and music. The devil is a really bad dude, but I guess you could say he got one thing right. If some of the religious texts are correct, and he did create music, then we gotta give him a little love for that one. But he also created suffering for the whole world, so we don't have to give him too much love, just a little bit. The belief that music is demonic spread through a few different religions. In Islam, some people believe that the devil conjured up musical instruments after he heard the beautiful singing voice of David. He was like, who's that dude showing up? He's not going to sound better than this sick solo. Some Muslims even believe that music could be the cause of disease and diabetes. But for any of our Muslim viewers, I understand that this is a very extreme viewpoint. Only the most conservative people will forego music. Me saying all Muslims don't listen to music is like me saying all Christians don't go to the doctor and they wait for God to heal them. A vast majority of people in all religions get down with music in whatever way they like. At number 6, we have a...
Y'all seen what that was, right? There's a microphone. My whole setup. I have a studio in here. Come on, man. You're not taking my love for music away from me. Okay? And another thing, if that's true, which I don't believe that the devil, matter of fact, he's, you know what? He's right. He is right. The devil did leave music as something like that. But when he was an angel in heaven, he was the angel of music. Okay? So he took music and he split it. When I say split it, he split the ways that music could be used to worship him, and he split it to where music could be used to worship him. You get it? So music is split in two different ways to worship God or Satan. So you have to be careful with what you listen to and what you have coming out of your mouth, and who are you worshiping when you sing or however you do your music. Okay?
Host. Out of all the things I would like to avoid in my life, having a demon use my body as a bachelor apartment is high on the list, and I would like to skip it. It doesn't seem like a fun time, but if you're not one of the lucky ones, then some nasty demon might choose you as its host. From the reports I've read, most people survive this. This will leave the host mentally scarred and needing some hardcore therapy, but they will survive. In some cases, the demon will try to return to the same host, or even use multiple hosts, jumping from one to another. Doesn't seem like a very fun way to spend your weekend. At number 5, we have temptation. Of course, of course, of course. If it wasn't for demons, we would all be abstaining from sex, be super ripped because we don't want to eat any unhealthy food, and we would all be running self-sustaining homes with like 5 dogs that are super cute and we would cuddle them all the time. Life would be perfect. But sadly,
Malia and I have both been using Curology for 2 months now. Malia and I's skin is completely different, which is why our ingredients are also completely.
thanks to demons, not our own lack of self-control, we don't have any of these things. Many religions believe that all forms of temptation are caused by the devil. So when you feel the urge to eat a Big Mac, it's the devil leaving a little spell on you. I even read some reports from a doctor who had to go work overseas to help men who had internal bleeding. The reason they got internal bleeding was from snapping their own erections in half. There was a group of hyper-religious men who believed that their erection was caused by the devil. It was from him working his way into their body and making them crave sex. I think this is an extreme case. Like, oh my god, this is pretty nuts. Just talking about it hurts my body. But I'm just telling you this so you have an understanding of how seriously people think that temptation is the work of the devil or a demon. At number 4, we have famine.
Okay.
I mean, of course this is the work of a demon. Famine is one of the 4 horsemen. Having billions of people die from starvation doesn't seem like it would be God's work or an angel. The Bible talks of the devil taking food from man in a way to torture and punish him. Starvation is one of the worst fates in the Bible, and it's related to one of the 10 plagues of Egypt. When the locusts come, they eat all the crops, which will lead to mass starvation. When the horseman famine rides through, he carries a scale. Weighing a harvest on a scale is something that would decide whether or not someone would be getting enough money to live or go home and die from starvation. This could all be fancy symbolism, but it still makes you worry about the dark forces that could be damaging your food supply. At number 3,
First of all, let me tell you this. Famine is not something left behind by the devil. Famine is something that we choose to have going on in the world today, because we have the means to what's the word I'm looking for? Harvest food and spread it abroad the world where it seems like there's famine and people are starving and hungry and things like that.
Food supply. At number 3, we have cigarettes. When Christopher Columbus brought tobacco back to the New World, people were terrified of it. They saw a man breathing smoke and immediately related this to the work of the devil. Once King James saw how habit-forming this was, he said tobacco was disgusting. Of course, you can see to this day with the view of cigarettes, the king didn't get his way and wasn't able to stop the popularity of this drug. But the evolution of it has been extremely sinister. Now we have massive cigarette companies that prey on people through habit-forming tactics and siphon money out of them until they die. Cigarettes have been nicknamed cancer stick and linked to a laundry list of diseases, all while CEOs become billionaires on the back of sick people. When you look at it like that, the facts all seem like they're coming from some sort of demonic force. At number 2, we have disease. Before demons and darkness, the world must have been a dope place. You could just eat whatever you want and not need to worry about heart disease. That sounds like a paradise. But there are excerpts from the Bible that suggest disease was conjured by witches making a pact with the devil for power. They used this power to torment humanity by spreading disease through their magic. These people who decided to master the dark arts wanted power, and it came at the cost of our health. During the 1300s, when the Black Plague was taking out 1/3 of Europe, many people believed that it was the work of the devil. I mean, it makes sense. It's the 14th century, there's no internet, and everyone around you've ever known is dying in horrible ways, and you literally need to burn the body so the disease doesn't spread. That seems very demonic. So every time you get sick, it might be the work of the devil. Maybe drink some holy water just in case. And for the number 1 spot, we have the Illuminati, the shadow government that runs the world and is in charge of everything. They are the ones that killed Jeffrey Epstein. I'm saying it now because we all know it. It was the Illuminati, baby. We know this kind of stuff. Now I'm on a hit list for sure. Most of the conspiracy theories out there think that the Illuminati is the work of the devil, that they worship Satan, and have a bunch of weird rituals where they cut people's heads off, kill babies, wear owl suits, and worship the Dark Lord. And it's said that the Illuminati has been around for hundreds of years and has infected every level of power, from religion to government to entertainment to military. There isn't anything that the devil worshippers haven't been able to corrupt, and we're all sheep along for the ride. If these claims are true, it would be very safe to say that the Illuminati was left behind by demons and possibly even run by demons. And if they are as powerful as we might think, then we only have two options. We can come together and fight for humanity and push out the devil worshipping corruption, or you could just go to your local costume shop, buy a couple of owl suits. If you can't beat them, join them. We're all out here trying to get famous, baby. Yeah, there's one way or another. At number 10, we have war. What is it good for? Destabilizing countries for your own financial gain. Usually that's what it's good for. Well, I think it's safe to say that nobody likes war except for the massive companies that make millions and millions of dollars off of war. But besides them, I think it's kind of a bummer for everyone else. Well, of course, war is something brought to Earth by demons. Before demons, we were all running around naked, just hanging out with animals, and everything was cool. No one was trying to eat us or kill us. But after demons fed our minds with sin, and now we want nothing more than to feel the pleasure of conquering people and taking over the world, we crave war all the time. Also, war is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and I don't think that dude was on Team Human. He is on Team Demon for sure. Well, and also on Team Horse. He seems to really like his horse. At number 9, we have Conquest. We just did one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, so it only makes sense that we follow it with the last one we haven't covered yet between these 3 lists. Why did I choose to put conquest above war? Well, because if we didn't have the urge to conquer, we probably wouldn't start wars. Without conquest, there would be no need to dominate and pillage, there would be no animosity, and we wouldn't fight. Think of how peaceful the world would be. You would never know the feeling of being first place in Mario Kart, and then having your so-called friend hit you with a red shell right before the finish line to steal it from you. Someone who actually loves you doesn't do that to you, and will kill you given the chance. At number 8, we have science. When science first started to make its way into the world, people started to question religion because science could answer questions that religion couldn't. People started to speculate that science was made by the devil, a tool given to man to ruin his faith in God. Well, I think we can all agree that science is not the work of the devil. I mean, you wouldn't be watching this video without the help of science. But people who used to perform some of the earliest experiments were thought to have been witches, and people would kill them because they wanted to know what would happen when you would mix baking soda and vinegar. One of the most famous cases of this was people killing people who said that the world revolved around the sun and it wasn't the other way around. That's just a testament to the human ego. We thought that the whole universe revolved around our planet. That's pretty crazy. At number 7, we have magic. Many religions out there say that magic is the work of the devil and was brought to the planet by the devil as a way to corrupt humanity. And people can use it to summon demons and conjure up horrible things. In fact, when the Harry Potter books came out, there was a movement from many religious groups to have the books banned, and there were people boycotting and protesting the movies. Obviously, this didn't work. The Harry Potter books are bestsellers, and they continue to make movies about the series. Also, how could you not love Harry with this little lightning bolt forehead? Even if he was working with demons, I would still love him. Even if he's the head of a dark army, I would still love him. He's just a cute little guy. I just support him. At number 6, we have gambling. Gambling can be a lot of fun. Winning a ton of money releases more dopamine than hugging 100 puppies and having someone spoon feed you your favorite flavor of Haagen-Dazs. But just watch the movie Uncut Gems and you will understand why people think that gambling was something left behind by demons. Nothing is more stressful than watching a degenerate gambler stress while watching TV and screaming at the game like it's life or death. One of the biggest reasons...
I'll pause it real quick. Honestly, I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think that gambling is a something that is left behind by the devil. And the thing about it is, the reason why I say that, the only way it could be considered that way is if a person continues to do it and it becomes an addiction and an issue. Okay? Where you're spending all your rent money and now you can't pay your rent and you're gambling off your car and now you gotta walk or catch the bus because you're gambling with your things that you need to survive. Okay? That's where it becomes a problem. Now it's an addiction. Something that you can't stop, that you can't help. You have to continue to keep doing it. That's why they have counseling for that now. Because it's become a new addiction. So other than that, let's keep going.
Churches fear that gambling was the work of the devil wasn't just how it can turn people into greedy monsters who are obsessed with money, but people gambling would put more faith and prayer into the game than they would into their own God. Which makes sense. When you got 100 grand on the Lakers game, you are going to be praying to LeBron James before you even think about the big man upstairs. My new God is whoever can sink 40 points in the second half. At number 5, we have porn. Do I really need to go into detail as to why people think porn is something left behind by demons? Well, I'm going to do it anyway, in graphic detail. Think about the 7 deadly sins. Lust is a big one. It's a sin to be a horny little monster, and you will go to hell just for thinking all the little perverted things that are floating around in your head, and porn is just taking those perverted thoughts and putting them on camera so you don't even need to think about them. They're just there in front of you. You just have to listen to the Pornhub intro song, and you're off and running. Sex is something that has been sacred among many religions, and sex before marriage is a sin. So filming your sacred act and uploading it or live streaming it to the public to make money is probably not gonna make God happy. The devil, on the other hand, probably loves it. He thinks it's a blast. And I mean, pick your team on this one. Who do you think is having more fun? The guy who won't let you kiss a girl before you walk down the aisle? Or the dude who probably invented the threesome? At number 4, we have soccer. How could this be made by the devil? It brings the whole world together in the world's largest sporting event. You think there would be so much good behind that, ignoring the fact that FIFA might be one of the most corrupt organizations in the world, and that some countries pay millions of dollars to have soccer stadiums built instead of social services for their people. Also, everyone at home who's getting bent out of shape because I'm calling it soccer instead of football, get over it. I live in a different country. We have different words for different things here. You don't go to China, get your knickers in a knot because they speak Chinese. But the reason some people think that soccer could be the work of the devil has nothing to do with the $1 million in corruption or how governments start ignoring the poor. It has everything to do with the fact that the fans start idolizing and worshiping soccer stars more than God. These players become deities, and all that worship should be going to Muhammad or Yahweh or whoever else that deserves it. At least that's what religions think. But not Ronaldo. Even though he's got abs, you can break a 2x4 on. At number 3, we have drugs. I will start off by saying that not all drugs are created equal. When you really break it down, caffeine, Tylenol, and cannabis are technically drugs, but I wouldn't put them in the same camp as crack cocaine and crystal meth. No one's pulling up to the Starbucks drive-thru and asking for a shot of meth to get their day started. But for the longest time, churches and preachers have warned people against the public dangers of doing drugs. And for good reason. Some drugs will ruin your life and send you down a path of no return. They will deteriorate your mental health and leave you a husk of your former self. If demons ever wanted to make a substance that would turn people into mindless monsters who steal, cheat, and kill, then hard drugs would be exactly what they would use to do it. Some drugs have been given nicknames that are directly related to demonic forces, like the devil's lettuce or devil's dandruff. So don't do drugs, stay in school or whatever, I don't care. At number 2, we have social media. Every time something new comes into the public and starts to take over our culture like Keyboard Cat, people will get a little frightened. In recent years, some churches have been warning their followers that social media is the work of the devil and that all of their followers should get their kids off of these platforms. I mean, I kind of get it. Social media is an amazing tool that everyone can use to connect to so many people. Like, you can connect with your friends, you can share the best parts of your life. It lets me talk to all the most amazing top 10 fans and do pet shoutouts at the end of every video. But there is definitely a dark side. Some people get obsessed over social media and take everything way too seriously. Some people use the platform to bully people and ruin lives. Also, massive companies are using these platforms to take your data so they can market to you better and turn you into a dollar sign and make you a sheep to feed their massive companies. And for the number 1 spot, we have bloodlust. For some people, it's amazing. Like, if you're a barbarian cornered by a bunch of orcs and then you let your rage course through your veins so you could murder your way out of a sticky situation. But for every other person, the urge to kill is pretty bad. According to the Bible, before demons and the devil, no one wanted to kill anyone. But now, every time someone parks in your parking spot, you envision their head getting crushed in a vice like in the movie Casino. Wrath is also one of the 7 deadly sins. Now, there are ways to move past this demonic urge to roundhouse people who cut in line at the movies. You can meditate, you can live healthier, you can perform a gratitude practice, and I promise you it won't quench your thirst to kill people, but it might slow down the process.
Alright. This guy is funny. Well, with all of that being said, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. The original link will be down in the description. Some of these are questionable as far as like how it has anything to do with a demon leaving something behind. The only way that they can become something of that nature is if somebody lets it become an addiction. Like, you just can't live without it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta gamble. You gotta do the drugs like really bad. I'm selling my house now just to get high, or you know what I mean? That's or I'm beating my wife up just because she won't give me the money that's supposed to go toward the rent. I mean, come on. There is a difference in some areas. And also, if you're doing it as far as the drugs is concerned and your wife or your husband didn't agree upon it, and all of a sudden you're doing it and it's destroying your marriage, it's destroying your relationship, it's destroying your family, and everybody's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And you just don't care. You have no feelings, no remorse, no nothing towards the feelings of those who love you and care about you. Then it's a problem. Other than that, you know, I don't see how some of these things were left by demons. Like I said, the only way that some of these things could have been like that is when it becomes an issue. You know what I mean? All of the things, some of the things that he said are underneath the category of temptation. Because he said temptation already. So when you say temptation, then you have to think, oh, I am being tempted to smoke crack or shoot heroin or snort coke, and I've fallen underneath the temptation. Now I'm doing it consistently, and you know, just things like that. But other than that, that's it, really. So like I said, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And the original link to the video will be down in the description. If you like the video here from the top 10 channel, please like, share, and subscribe, because I watch these guys quite often and they're cool. I like watching their videos. So It's a good channel to subscribe to. Alright, make sure you click on the bell that has the ringing symbol on there, so every time I drop another video, you will know instantly. Alright, peace out.